Hello. Let me double check there. Okay. All right. All right. Well, people show up here. I'll give this a few minutes. Show you my hand. Everybody loves seeing that, right? All righty. Let's see. There we got some people coming on. Hey, what's going on? What's up from West Virginia? Hey, we play you in football this year. We play your Big 12 team. Hopefully we beat you. No offense, Quentin. All right. Basically, we're waiting for a few people to show up, and I'm going to tell you what I think is some pretty exciting stuff that's going on here at Olympus, and some new directions that we're going to be taking while keeping with our roots. I want to tell you before we do it, because it'll take a while to get it through the plans, right? Congratulations, female bumblebee. And I want you all to know that we're the first to think about it. Now, if anybody steals our idea, you know that, hey, we thought of it first and we're going to do it, right? So anyway, that's where we're at. And plus, I hadn't gone live in a while, and I wanted to kind of check in with y'all and just kind of let y'all know what's going on. You play football, Chaz? Like, seriously, for West Virginia? Because if you do, that is awesome. And I'm trying to think, man, if you do play for West Virginia, remind me, we play there this year, right? I'm talking about K-State. I think we have to travel there. K-State's pretty good this year. Like, it'll be interesting on how good they're going to be. I think we have a chance to be really good. Obviously we still got the Wizard running the show, so that's always going to be a good thing, right? And Chaz, that is awesome. And man, I wish you, dude, I'm kind of bummed because I wish you guys were playing here this year. Because then I'm going to be at the game. We got some tickets at, and we'd be able to give you kind of a holler out at that thing. But that's a bummer. Are you saying, Chaz? Hold on, let me make sure. Because you're saying, yeah, we're going. You talking about West Virginia, or are you talking about you're playing here at K State? Which one? I'm thinking you meant West Virginia. Just kind of comments coming so fast. Sometimes I miss a few things. But anyway, either way, congratulations. Playing college football's pretty damn awesome, no matter where it's at. Obviously, I got to cheer for the purple, being a Manhattan guy. But West Virginia's a pretty solid team, and when you guys first came in the Big 12, K State really kind of dominated up in the guns. And we're going to talk about, yeah, that's cool. That is kind of awesome. What's really awesome about that is you guys are watching me here, and then I'm going to end up watching you guys and you play us in the football. So make sure, I hope it's here. I'll be cheering for both of you. Even though I'm going to cheer for K-State, I'll still be cheering for you as well. So, yeah, I am one who Kurt's not here right now. He was here earlier, so we were doing that. I don't think so. I mean, I think if it's captive bred, they're a little less spunky, but I've got an albino that's a dick. So I'm talking about Western Diamondbacks and that. All right, but here, your number 9. I'm excited because I love seeing people who watch me and getting to watch them do what they do. So, Cat game out here. Yeah, K State's an awesome stadium actually to go to. Man, Mississippi State, I'm worried about that game, to be honest. Bill Snyder family, it's a beautiful place to catch a game, so we certainly enjoy it. And West Virginia, too, basketball is kind of a little bit of a rivalry for us because, we had Huggins as our coach for a bit, and then they went out there, And what I think about the scales python, maybe it's that scales python question, then I'm going to start getting into what I really want to talk about today and share with you guys. I'm really excited about something we're going to do for a little bit of a future direction. I like the scaleless ball pythons. I think it is a legit thing. I know there's been more produced. We're starting to see some hit the market and coming for sale. We are going to be producing them in the future ourselves. At least we plan on it. We do have a scaleless head. I don't think you'll have to do much more for them than you would a normal ball python. If anything that I would see as a health risk, quote unquote, it would be that I think they're going to be more susceptible to a stuck shed, So I haven't seen the leopard scaleless, but I've seen pastel. I actually got to go hands on with one of the first, with the first pastel, super pastel scaleless in Florida one year with. Why am I drawing a blank on who made it? I'll think of him here in a little while, and it was really cool. Winston made those WHS reptiles, and that was pretty neat. So, I might get into the gray matters of it. It was Winston. He's a cool dude too, and we may get into gray matters one day. But I think the scales will be just a fine project. I mean, you may have to just kind of watch him maybe a little closer at shed because that's the one thing that might be a little different. Everything else should be the same. People get all freaked out about scaleless, but if you think about it, there's been scaleless kings, scaleless corns, actually scaleless atrox, and all of these scaleless snakes have done just fine in captivity, and the scaleless atrox is found in the wild, so they can actually survive in the wild. They are more susceptible to things in the wild. They're just missing some armor. They're going to get scratched up easier crawling through stuff and whatnot. In captivity, it's really not going to be a problem, so I don't see any issue with it whatsoever. I am actually really excited to work some scaleless projects. I think it just adds a whole difference to the color, and I'm really excited about it. But let me tell you what we're going to add. So, a lot of you on here, some of you are probably Patreon members. A lot of you have heard me talk about Patreon. And yes, we're still working with that. And Chaz got to number 9. But that'll be... I don't know. I'm going to see what I can do about the health risk. And if it comes out that what I'm trying to do doesn't work, then I won't do it anymore. It's pretty simple on that. But what we're going to do with the Patreon is we kind of always said we hit a certain goal. We wanted to travel more and film. Well, we are this close to being at that goal. So we're having to get prepared to back up our promise, right? And that is to do more traveling and filming. We've had some films when I was on vacation. You had a film recently we just put up that was... yeah, the shot's pretty cool too. But we had, maybe lose my track of thought when I saw Snyder Stadium show up there. But we've got to get prepared to start traveling. You've seen us travel on vacation and do some videos. You've seen us, we recently did one at the Wichita shop with the big anaconda that they have and some other animals, the frilled dragon. It was really cool. And we also filmed at a zoo down there called Tanganyika. I can't wait for that stuff to come out. It's going to be a while because we're working with somebody else. We got to make sure that all is up to their standards too. And so we have a few things to do. And Chaz, I can't, because honestly, if I did, believe it or not, it would be an NCAA violation because we are K-State donors. So if I give any NCAA player money, you can actually get sanctioned. Cannot do it. It is bad. That came in our donor package. So we had to do that because we wanted seats, and they make you donate to get the damn seats. I can't even give one of our guys money if I want to. If I buy a McDonald's, it's actually an NCAA violation. I personally don't think it should be, but, hey. So what we're going to start doing with that traveling is we don't want to just, we're going to travel to other people's facilities and other people's, breeding facilities and private zoos and things like that. And we are going to film at those. We are going to continue to do that. We want to bring more animals than just reptiles, but keep our main focus on reptiles. So we also want to, yes, we have TGR racks. David, he hit that right on the head. So I love our TGR racks. They've been great for us. That's all of what you see here, right? So what we're going to be doing, though, is we decided that we didn't want to just travel like everybody else. That would be boring, and nobody would give a shit if we just travel like everybody. What I mean by everybody else is get in a car, drive somewhere, stay in a hotel, that kind of thing. So what we did is we got ourselves a primitive camping trailer for like overland camping. And in the future, what we're going to do to kind of bring all of this together is we'll have some videos kind of showing that. They will not take away from our reptile videos. Our reptile videos will still, room's still the same. Our reptile videos will still hit every Thursday and every Sunday, just like they have. I'm not changing that. So nobody's going to lose content. You're still going to get the content you like about snakes and reptiles and animals Thursdays and Sundays, right? So that's going to come. That'll be fun. But what we'll do then is we're going to end up, give me just 1 second, Kenny, and then I have to ask it again because they're coming in so fast. I really want to cover this before I lose track of thought. We'll end up taking this camping tray, which is like this tent thing that flips out from the top of a storage box we pull behind our Jeep. And we'll take it to places like maybe Death Valley is on the list of places to go, the Florida Everglades, things like that, where we can spend 4 or 5 days off of the grid, right? And we'll be able to stay out in places like that while going out and looking for animals in the wild. So maybe find gators in the wild, sidewinders in the wild, depending on where we're at, different crotalus species in the wild, and go look for these things while being able to shoot camping videos, Jeep videos, and reptile videos all at once. At the same time, if we're close to places that have other animal places, we'll go there and make a trip of it. So you're going to start seeing us set out on an excursion every now and then where we'll film a whole bunch of this all in one shot and then release it as the year goes on. So what I want to know is, what do y'all think of that? I mean, we already ran it by our Patreon. We're going to do it. Patreon liked it, but I wanted to kind of bring it on here. So that's kind of what's going on. So I am really curious. This is your chance to tell me what you think of our ideas for primitive camping along with the Jeep and filming animals while we do it, and bringing you some stuff in nature as well as the captive stuff. Gary, it was like a 10-minute thing. I'm not going to be able to repeat the whole thing. No, we don't sell dwarf game, as whoever asked. All right, James is for it. Sorry, it was a long thing. So, good. It seems like... and I that's what I am trying to definitely do there, gingerbread man, almost a gingerbeard man, is I am trying to do what I love, and what I love is nature. I love animals. You know, I love going out and doing that. I love keeping them, and to be able to travel and camp and do all that would be just a dream come true. So, you know, all these breeders are trying to get more reviews. Well, let me tell you where this world's coming to. You know, and I just went over this, and Joseph, I saw that message. I'm going to go ahead and address that message, because I understand the frustration there. I do. I understand where people are like, oh, you know, you're on this Patreon thing, it's this cash grab, it's this, you know, and you're right, David, I will tell you to bring like, but you got to understand what I do with that money. You don't have to reinstate that comment, but I caught it, and I want to address, I know there's a lot of people that have that same feeling. And what we've done so far with the Patreon money is it hasn't gone in my pocket. So people say, oh, you just want more money. I don't make my living doing this. I don't make my living doing social media. I don't make my living doing reptiles. I don't make my living breeding reptiles. Eventually, one day, do I want to? Absolutely. I'll be very upfront about that. I have no need to lie to you about that at all. You know? What that Patreon money has gone for us to do so far, and I literally just went through this on a video with Patreon that hadn't been released yet, is, you know, we've added our scaleless head project. Okay? We've increased our reptile room tenfold. Like, as far as our rack space, we're able to do it, push us way ahead. We're going to be rebuilding our dwarf caiman cage and using that funding. Okay, we added some sub-adult and adult female clown species morphs, so we're going to be doing that. And then we added this camping trailer to travel there. Whenever we've done something major, like adding the camping trailer, which is kind of not our norm, I actually went to Patreon first, and I said, hey, this is what I want to do, guys. I want to talk to you about it because you're the ones that come to, that, you know, send this to us, and this is what we're going to do with the money you send. So it's not, at least for me, and I don't want to speak for all breeders or everybody, it's not a cash grab. You know, it is getting our future where we want it to be. It's super hard to make a living off this, and also bringing that passion that we have and allowing us to do that to everybody. You know, not just a select few, which you're thinking, well, it's a select few on Patreon. They always get extra content, but I also always bring content here. And as we go do these animal things, these camping things, you know, it's going to benefit others who want to see that. And my hope is to take some of the people who do Jeep videos or camping videos or that sort of thing and let them find us because we're doing that too, and then find the animals because of it. If that makes sense, to bring more people into the fold. So, excuse me, that's kind of the goal, if that makes any sense, and why we do what we do. Again, don't know why everybody else does it, but that's our point. So our Facebook page is simple. It's Olympus Reptiles. You'll see that's, you know, that snake emblem on there, pretty easy to find. We will have some things released publicly probably in the first part of September. I need to, basically, yes, we're going to do videos on how to live out of your Jeep. Not permanently, like weekends, maybe up to a week or two at a time. So, you know, we are going to do that. But it's going to be, you know, kind of be fun, I think. So, is there an app? Yeah, I mean, World of Ball Pythons, I think, has an app. Or at least it's pretty good. Do you do anything super fire in your collection? I do not have any super fires. I do have fire. I'm not working into supers right now. So I will eventually work it into supers. But right now my fire has been pushed towards Xanthic and has been pushed towards Pied. So live in a van down by the river. So yeah, I mean, you guys kind of got off topic here. We're on a little bit of Brian Barczyk topic, and as far as that guy's finances, I don't really know. Like, I mean, Brian and I talk, but we don't talk about, hey, how's your bank account? That'd be kind of rude. But I do know that on most on reptiles, I think it is kind of an even keel. Like, it mostly just pays for itself. But social media does pay for a lot of things. But this is also expensive. I mean, I couldn't imagine having to maintain what I have to maintain, without having my food source. I couldn't imagine some of that things, and there is no way my room would look the way it does with all the new racks and things without Patreon. There's no way. There's no way we'd be about to start doing these Overland adventures with an animal flair without Patreon. And that's still probably a good 6 or 8 months away. We'll have it out trying it before then, but it'll be a bit if we're doing the full type thing. So, it's breeding reptiles now, Oh, how many reptiles? Shit, I don't even know. Or dwarf cameras? I got one. You're not going to make millions. Like, I don't think you are. Now, I'm not the guy that's going to say it's doom and gloom and you get some guys that will fail. They just will. It's a grind. It is a grind. I've said it time and time again. And but you're not going to get rich. Do I think you can make a living doing it? Yes, if you put in the front work, I think you can. I don't think it's easy. I think one thing Barczyk talked about in a video not long ago was, diversifying. So he was getting crap for doing a few different things. He talked about, this is why I do it. It's kind of more protected. And, we don't always see eye to eye on everything. And even on that, there are some things I looked at different as creating your own competition video. But one area where he's absolutely right is, like, I don't count on all of my funding to come from snakes. So the hatchling rack has not moved. It may have just been the way the camera was, So, yeah. That's kind of where it's at on that. So, what's going on in Pride of Texas? Because this has always been, like, the way the room is set up. The only thing that's different is there's an extra hatchling rack in here. But, like, this has always been the adult males, and grow-ups. These are the adult females all along that wall. Then you have hatchling, a little bit bigger. You have grow-up tubs, more hatchlings, and then there's the other one we added. And I've got one at my shop that my shop is kind of using. So it may have just looked different because the camera, maybe we're standing different. Hell, I don't know. But that was a big announcement that I wanted to share with you, is that in addition to doing reptile videos, we're also going to start doing some like Jeep and Overland camping type stuff. And then we're going to combine those two. But I wanted you to know when you see those come out, because here's what I don't want to happen, right? I don't want it to happen where, a video pops up and it's me, like we just filmed recently, showing off this camping trailer and what our plans are, kind of talking about it. And then you go to, oh shit, he sold out and quit doing reptile videos. No, I didn't. You're going to get reptile videos every Thursday, every Sunday, and you're going to get some extra stuff in there too. That's kind of where I'm at. No, we're not all doomed. Michigan Balls, we're not all doomed. And let me explain that. One is overhead. I think, I do have a JKU. It's a Rubicon. I'm not saying, but it's pretty stock. We'll have to fix that a little bit. When you look at a large collection, okay, and a large scale collection, and, you have to have, one, a facility. Cost, right? Two, you have to have employees, especially when you're like Brian and you're traveling all the time, right? So you got all this staff you got to pay. You got all these things you got to pay. So, yeah, he may be breaking even. I mean, that's kind of the assumption right now. And but if he's breaking even, he's also paying about 6 or 7 people's wages. So you got to keep that in mind too. And he wouldn't be able to do the social media stuff he does, right, without having the animals he has. Because most of his social media is based off of animals. In the beginning, where he grew, was really based off of animals. So there you go. And I think that's probably a good, when you get, about 10, probably about when it's about right to start breeding your own. Rattlesnakes are awesome, and somebody did ask why I keep venomous. If you're worried about making money in the ball python market, let me tell you about the venomous market. That thing does suck. You do it because you like. There's a lot of risk in it, but I enjoy the animals. So, well, Jesse, I will be really honest. All of our exams sold on Patreon this year. They just gone. So now we're going to do more. We're going to do more, not this season, but I am growing. You know, Xanthic is my favorite genetic, right? So as we grow, the purple haze is gorgeous. But as we grow, you'll see more and more and more and more Xanthic clutches, because I've got 2 visual females I've held back a year ago. I've got 2 het females I held back a year ago that also, and all those have extra genes in them. I don't own any straight Xanthic females. And so then super pastel male and a zebra bee male. So we're really going to be working into something like that. So the last show was like, yeah, and that's high. It depends on the cobra. Any normal head Xanthic, I'll have to look. And like I say, nothing's going to be posted to the general public until in September. In September, we're going to open some things up to the general public if they clear, because kind of how we sell things, we go Patreon gets first chance. If it clears Patreon, it's going to go to a show. And after a show, it's going to go open to the public. So what's going to basically happen is we have the first show this year that I know we're going to attend. And I'm going to attend it if I only have 2 snakes left, because it's my local Manhattan show. And it's Cons the Reptile Show, Cons the Reptile Expo, Reptile Breeders Expo, actually. So check that out. It'll be here in Manhattan on, I think, September 2nd. So yeah, that's, you know, it's just one of those things that we're going to be there because we're a sponsor. You know, and Luis, if you're on Patreon, yeah, I'll have to check that clutch. We may have it, and darkness. We'll have to do it. So, great ideas. Just do spray down your ball python. Very rarely, it's kind of when I see it. And usually, I just dump the water dish in there and refill the water because it's 2 birds with 1 stone. You know, and the shirts. These are only available in 2 places. 1 is on Patreon, and 2 is at shows. It's the only place we carry those. So. 150 plus rats, it's a pain. Man, let me tell you guys something, okay? Because Kurt does all of our rat work. And that some bitch is producing about 500 to 600 rats a week. That is a lot of rats. I mean, the guy just rats. But, hey man, Anthony, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And we probably won't make the Daytona show. We wanted to. We don't have anything. The Patreon levels, there is FK's questions. I didn't see FK's question, Josette. If you'll send it back to me once I get this Patreon one, I will do that. It's going to be $1 for kind of a test series to see some of the content. You don't really get anything else. $5 is really the true first tier. You get access to all the content. You get access to being some of the first ones to have a chance to purchase, and you get access to the monthly specials we want. So we do that. And then there's a $10 tier, which that adds a t-shirt to it, plus discounted shipping. $15 tier adds all that before, plus you get show discounts after those are after certain points. There's a $50 tier, which gives you a discount, after so long you get like a credit off shipping discounts on top of the previous ones, pre-knowledge what the sales are. And then there's a $100 level, which gives you all of that, and then you get your name on the end of our videos, which is what you see Zeus level Patreon supporters. And it also will let you come here and film with us after 6 months, whenever so travel's on you, and you can pick the animal in the film. So if you were to come here and say, you know what, I really want to film with, somebody mentioned the Darkness, we'll pull her out. That's not her official name yet. I haven't got an official name for her yet, but I will. This is the Darkness. Ugh. And then we would set up the video, and we would do it there. Whoever, if KF was the question you mentioned, we don't really need the all snakes should die. I mean, it's like kind of the stupidest thing I've ever read. You can see how dark she is. She is really awesome. Oh, FB10 or FB20, or just go to FB40. You know, if you were only going to do 2, I think I would do the FB10s, which are these little guys here. You know, the really small ones. And so it's a different KF. Okay, these really small ones. And then I would do the FB40s and kind of skip out on the 20s maybe. I like the 20s a lot, though, because of, you know... that's because it's a troll. That's why they're here. I just didn't flex growing today. They'll take care of that for me. But I like having all 3 sizes. But if that's not workable, you could do a baby size. But the best thing to do, honestly, would be to skip out on the 10s and go with a more traditional baby rack like that. Or like these that Tall Grass makes. Skip the 10s. And then you can go straight from a 10 to 20 to 40, and you get more snakes that way. That's what I would probably look at doing. So, You know, that's just me. It's hard to go straight to a 40. It's too big. By Dave, do you mean Dave Karnowski? If you do, then kind of. What's up, you? And what I mean is, Dave is one of the owners of our shop. So there's 4 of us that own the shop we've got, right? And, 600 grams, you don't need the tins. But I like the tins. The reason I like the tins is because they fit for a little longer. And so I usually put the ones I'm going to hold back in the tins eventually. And that way I know what I'm keeping and what I'm selling. That's kind of easier to do. Yeah, Scaly Dave. But we work together and we've swapped some stuff around. We bought some stuff from each other, traded some things and things like that. But we haven't our breeding kind of stays a little bit separate still. So, but we do own the shop together along with Kurt. And if you guys remember the old channel Classy Herps, then Classy Herps, which is Colin's the other of the shop. So you got 2 YouTube personalities there, a local guy who's been at it forever, and Scaly Dave, and then of course camera guy Kurt is my camera guy. All 4 own that shop, so it's pretty cool. Female listener, male het for pine normal. Again, always Kenny, and I think David said, I'm always going to say breed what you want. But with the lessers, I'd always stick, like maybe a Mojave or a lesser with it, so you can kind of get bells, because everybody loves bells, right? And with the het pied, I would look for a pied visual, with a kicker gene maybe, or at least a pied visual is what I'd go with. So, yep. Something more mixology. So anyway, guys, Less with the lesser. Yeah, man, you can't beat that because you get really, really freaking beautiful snakes. Like, hey, chill out. I know it's been raining here and they're all pissed off. Lesser to lesser, can't go wrong, right? Look at that shit. That's why you do lesser to lesser. Love those. So, yeah, he's grown up a little bit now. He's adult. So, oh, I missed what Uper did. That was cute. So, hey, awesome, Hazel's Reptiles. That's good, man. And do it. Here's the thing. If you ever start a YouTube channel, you just got to keep grinding, okay? You got to keep grinding. If you want something different, you could go with, like, GHI to it as well. GHI is awesome. But I like my GHI with Mojave better. Personal preference. So, my day is going pretty good. First ever live stream. So yeah, and that was, and now guys, we got a little bit, we can kind of talk about whatever you want. So this is kind of a Q&A at this point. Mostly, is Mystic Potion a dead end? Yeah, I think so, a little bit. And what I mean by that is, it's, for me anyway, it's not easy to pick out the Mystics and the Mojaves when you breed. So Mystic Potions, the problem is this, so they're so beautiful that they're worth making, right? So, I would never say don't make Mystic Potion. Make Mystic Potion. They're really cool. But it's not always a lot more you can do with it. We're not going to be at Tinley, Dominic, and I'm a little bit bummed. I really want to go to Tinley. But my buddy Kurt, as you guys know, is getting married on that same day. And, obviously we work together. We've been friends for a very long time. I got some duties as a best man to attend to. And I always say, family, and Kurt, he's a friend, but he's really family. To me, you put family above all else, right? That's just what you do. So we're going to take care of family, take care of that wedding, and make sure that goes good, and skip Tinley. So, talking about for Rosenweiss rats, man. Tell you what, Hazel, don't feed him for a few weeks. Give him a couple weeks off, and then try to switch him. See if he's ready then, because usually they feed pretty good. 180604. 180604. Yeah, I'll pull that out. That's about. You're gonna be really happy with this one, man. Well, maybe I'm gonna pull it out. Come on. There we go. I was trying to get stuck in the old water dish, and right now, guys, I'll be honest. If you're writing comments, I'm missing them because I am clear over here. But somebody asked to see their snake. I wanted to show that to you. That's 180604. Man, as you can see, that thing is just freaking awesome, right? I love that thing. So, anybody can answer my question, please. Well, no more. Toss it back up there, buddy. And I'll do my best. Like I say, you got to remember on my end, a lot of these things come in so fast, I miss them, right? So, and Josette said she did. 0605? Well, if we did 0604, it wouldn't be right not to do 0605. This is a sibling to that one. But this one is just a het. So it's not going to be the visual, but it is definitely 100% het. And for a normal one, look at that. That color is just almost orange-like. Really pretty snake, so I really like that. Spider Exanthic. We do have Spider Exanthic. I did not hatch any this year, but I did not breed any this year. Well, I guess that's not quite true. I had a shot at them, but we missed on it. It wasn't what I was really going for. So, Anthony, they're getting pretty close. As a matter of fact, we'll probably be sending out messages here soon, probably this week, about setting up some shipping with people because, man, the weather's finally breaking. We're looking really good, and so we're going to be able to start shipping stuff. So, Mocha and Cinnamon, I haven't really ever worked with Mocha to really know the difference. This is a Spider Exanthic, as was asked for, though. So, really cool animal, though. Yep. My favorite snake I've hatched this season? Oh, God, man, that's a tough one. And the reason I say that's a tough one is because we've had some really cool stuff. Geez. This is probably one of them. I'd say. I come back to this one a lot as a favorite of the year. So. Upra's pretty funny. This thing's really cool. Yeah, it's the GHI Mojave as well. So I really like that. Of course, we hit another Blitz Calico, which is cool. We hit probably the nicest Champagne Inchi I've ever seen. Unfortunately, it was male, so I sold it. Yeah, I know. I'm still kicking myself. I haven't shipped it yet. It's about ready to ship, though. So, a spider, anything that brightens it up. So like, probably the GTP, honestly. Reap's pretty chill. He's only tried to take a shot at me once or twice. You can just never trust him because he's a rattlesnake. So it's not like you can ever just take that liberty. And if you do, it's on you, But the GTP's pissy. Now, if you ask me the GTP or red, I would say red. The GTP, once I get it hooked out and get it calmed down, I can usually kind of work with it. But, man, you can't ever trust red. I have to tongue her instead of hook her, which I hate because she'll bite herself, to be honest. I don't have any banana spiders, and I also don't have any leopards. And somebody asked about the best place to buy. It's definitely Patreon. How do you get on Patreon? Just go to www.patreon.com/Olympus Reptiles, and there you are. So, yeah. Thank you, Ashley. And it's the reason we come at it from pretty practical is because of how we started. We didn't mean to skip yours. Frankie, what was it again? Remember, they just roll. So, like, I missed them because I get maybe 8 at once sometimes the way they come in. Like, right now, my screen's blank, and it'll just go boom with a ton. Oh, live feed. Do we feed live? Yes, we feed live. We're not going to do a live feed today. I can't. My rodents aren't here. My rodents are kept off-site, and then they're brought in here. We do all of our feeding in one night, which is actually typically Thursday. So, yeah. That's when we kind of do that. And we can't live feed on YouTube because YouTube gets so much pissed off to us. And of course, David, I'll be switching over to Patreon for this. So, yeah, it is kind of fun, Camaro Girl. I like it. But here's the kicker. Here's one of my favorite things about Patreon. Okay, and this is like long-term planning because I'm always looking, not here, but I'm looking over there to get where I want on this. Patreon is capped. Okay, it's capped. It's capped at 810 people. We're nowhere near that yet. Okay, we got a long ways to go. So, but if we ever fill that up, then that is all I do, which would be amazing. But with that being capped, then even as our business grows, in this room here, if my math is right, we can be producing about 400, 450 a year. And if we need to expand past that, I already have plans on how I'm going to do that. So we have a way to push it even past that limit if we ever want to, and if this is our only job. But with that, then there's going to be less competition. So, everyone will have kind of a chance to get something, which is what I really like. So, yeah, I love it. That was an idea I got to give credit to Kurt for us, because when he first brought the Patreon thing up, I looked into it more. I thought, I wanted to do it, but I wanted to do it different. I didn't want to just, that's why we came up with the pre-order and the specials and things like that. So, It's a long, sorry. Let me try. I don't usually do this. Hey, there it is. 12 years old. Awesome. I'll have a couple of great guys, and it's pied. Yeah, I guess what would be a good snake? I'm not sure I understand because you're asking. What I'm seeing is, hey, my name is Jared, and I'm 12 years old, getting my first all python. I guess that's autocorrect, supposed to be ball python from a couple of great guys, and it's a pied. I have been working my butt off, and I was wondering what would be a good snake. I think you probably meant, is that a good snake? If so, then yes, that is a really good snake. And I do have some black pastels, but they're going to be, we just filmed them actually to get set up on Patreon. I think it would be a great snake. If you're asking what would be a good snake to pair with, definitely another pied. Pied is like that classic ball python, that iconic ball python that started everything. I'm growing my pied collection up because I like it so much. So, is it your cap on Patreon or theirs? What do you mean? Is it my cap on Patreon? Oh, no, it's my cap. Patreon doesn't have a cap. You can do however you want on Patreon. We set the cap, and the reason that I set the cap, a lot of things do. I mean, there's still a few things. Mad Bio, I'm gonna put an available list up before the show, so they have a shot at getting the last bit before we go there. The reason I set the cap was this. YouTube, we've been very, very blessed, and man, there's guys who do a way better job than I do on YouTube, and they haven't necessarily seen the growth we've seen. So we've been very, very blessed, and I plan on working yellow belly into my pieds. Question girl wants a pumpkin pied, so that's what I'm going to do. But with that being blessed, definitely a pied with yellow belly. Do a pumpkin pied or anything het pied with about 2 genes. That way you can get some cool stuff in there. But hi Derek, what's up, man? And with being so blessed with YouTube, though, the one thing that kind of is bad is, I'll get to that shipping question here in just a second, because it's not always next day. And I'll explain why. But what basically happens is there's no way I can keep up with everybody. I just can't do it. And so all these comments, rolling, half of them are I don't get to, half of them are kind of trolls and things like that. And I'm not able to keep up with that. So what I wanted to do, why I capped it, because capping it, honestly, if anything, it hurts me eventually. Because eventually, if we ever hit the cap, we can't grow any bigger, right? We're kind of stuck there. But it lets me keep that at a size where we're under 1,000 people. So if we have that many people who are on there, that I can interact with them, I can get to the comments, I can get to the questions. That community can handle itself without ever getting so big that it's faceless. And I didn't want that. I wanted that tight knit grouping as opposed to just boom all the time, which is why we kind of did that. So as far as there's always risk with PayPal, but I use PayPal a ton. As far as shipping next day, it can be, but it's not going to usually happen that way because we only ship certain days of the week. Part of that's our schedule. Part of that is that I only ship Mondays and Tuesdays to ensure that even if there's a delay, it still gets there in time. It doesn't get stuck over the weekend. And there should be a Patreon link on a lot of the videos. I can't type comments in this, I don't think. Josette, could you maybe knock that out for me? That'd be awesome. But like, so it would, and we also, we pre-sell those on Patreon, so it's 50% down. If anything happens to them, we'll return their money, obviously. And then when they're up to size, then we ship them too. And weather plays a role. We haven't been very good at shipping lately because it's been over hot. We only had a couple weeks we had a chance to get in, and so it can happen. But if you use PayPal, you can always try to file something against that. Plus, if somebody does that, there's a lot of ways you can kind of go and kind of call them out, and most people won't do that. Most people are not going to, risk their reputation in this over $300 or so, Yeah, Rolex, it's a smartwatch. No Rolex for me, right? And a smartwatch I bought on sale from the refurbished store. Yeah. More from Mixology. I'm glad we were an inspiration. I didn't know that, so it's cool to hear that we inspire people. Yeah, it is harder to get covered if you do friends and family. Friends and family helps the guy you're buying from. If it's people I know or that I trust, I do friends and family a lot. Some of our people do it, some of our people don't. And that's, when you don't do friends and family, then the receiver has to pay a chunk. So, they take it. But yeah, it's, but if you do, but I understand that too. I don't ever tell people, hey, you have to do it this way. How's Grandpa Jeremy? Thank you for asking. He is, you look like you've lost weight. You're really nice. I need to. I'm going to be a fat ass. I'll fix that one of these days. He's doing all right. I mean, he's still rehabilitating, and you're still going to see videos coming out with him in it because we filmed a bunch and then he fell and he broke his hip. So, surgery went great. He is getting closer to home, but he's still been recovering for a little while now. So, right, Patreon would be the best way to do it. And yeah, because you guys, Patreon members, been killing it. They eat up most of their stuff for us. So, yeah, I mean, part is I'll never be super skinny, so it is what it is. But I don't really want to be super skinny. And clown combo, I can show you a visual clown combo. I'll show you one. How long have I been breeding? About 5 years, I think. 4 years. I don't know exactly how long. Socked feet, right? When you're in your own house. This is one we picked up. We actually bought that from a Patreon member. So there you go. It's a little clown spider. She's pretty awesome. So, what is a good snake to breed to the pied? It's got to be something with pied in it. At least a het pied something. Otherwise, you're working a long project, which is okay if you want to. I mean, that's what we kind of have been doing with ours lately, is working long projects. The longest projects you can do would be like your double recessives, like your albino pieds, your exanthic pieds, that kind of thing. So, the old rack, man, it was falling apart. I basically had a guy who helped me get it out of here. I let him take it. So, that was kind of how that happened. Orange Dream Pie would be bitchin'. That would be nice. That would really be. Clown Pieds. I've seen them. I think Brian Gundy has a Clown Pied. I think. Don't quote me on that. I think he has a video on it. Brian Gundy is very underappreciated, by the way. And it's mostly a white snake, it appeared. I've never been around one, but it didn't have a lot of color. And Pied will do that to some things. It does it to spider, too. But as far as breeding goes, that thing would be a freaking powerhouse, right? Banana pieds are great. They are definitely great. But if you're gonna go banana, I gotta show this snake too, right? I feed once a week, so. And the reason I gotta show it is because he was the thumbnail pick for this, and that is that guy right there. Just love him. Any super pastel GHI possible? Probably not. Probably not super pastel GHI, but my room temp, that's funny you ask. Everybody always asks if I lower temps, room temp, all that. I really leave my room temp the same as my house temp. It's always warmer in here because there's so many heaters going anyway. So it's always kind of warm in here. But I just worry about the hot spot. And if you worry about your hot spot, I have found that everything else kind of tends to work itself out. Oh, you're going to bite the shit out of me. Let's not do that. There you go. There you go. This is the female banana you asked about. Ugh. Right there it is. And she is doing great. She's growing good. She eats good. Her freckles are coming in. Just beautiful. So, really, really like her. And I don't. Some people do. I mean, you can probably get away with 5 days on the babies. I don't. The reason I don't is because we have a set schedule and it's much easier just to kind of keep with it. We show up, Thursdays, we bring enough rats, we feed everybody, and we move on. So yeah, the zoo with Grandpa was great. You're talking about the one down there in, we did videos on it. You can see all those actually down there in Eureka Springs in Branson, Missouri. He didn't get to go to this last one, Wichita with me. We actually live 4 hours apart, so we don't get to travel together all the time, unfortunately. And he probably won't be traveling to many zoos for a little while with the broken hip. So I got to get him all the way back up healthy, and hopefully I'll get him running around and being my travel buddy again. So, yeah. And he did not break his hip at the zoo. He fell. We actually took my niece and my great niece and my grandfather, and then me and Question Girl went to a magic show the day before her wedding, and he fell and broke his hip there. And so, Beck, when I get the new cage built, which we're working on now, I'm taking bids from a few different people to build what I want, and then we'll have it built, and we'll do a bunch of stuff on that. So that's when we're going to do some Sobek stuff. after 1 year, dude, it's hit and miss. I mean, I've got snakes that after, like, here, I'll show you. Everybody gets hung up on that, but it also is going to depend a lot on the snake. Okay, these are both snakes that were born last year. There's that behemoth, roar, right? And then there's also, the hell did I screw this up? I'm trying to fix my tripod here. Give me a sec. My tripod's actually broken, you know, so I should spend some of my cash on. So if you want the T-shirt, that's and the cheaper shipping, shipping specials, that's the $10. If you just want the content and to be able to buy the stuff, that's the $5. So there you go. Yeah. The Daytona show, unfortunately, I am going to miss it. Just so much going on. We've been so busy. And then I did a lot of extra traveling with the broken hip because since he broke it when we were on vacation, you know, I had to leave, come home, and then the very next day get back up and go back. So it sucked. Does anyone read your answers? What was the question about the dead babies? Something about dead baby. Can you breed bumblebee and a spider together? Yeah, don't breed a bumblebee and a spider together. That's it. Because the spiders, super spiders, I believe they're dead. I was kind of on the fence about that, and I watched me put in some work, and I am now definitely in the camp of I do not believe it's viable. So anything with two spiders I'd miss, which would be bumblebee and spider. But well, the legs are fine. What broke was a mount, so I have to have it like mounted sideways and bend the legs all stupid crazy. I really just need to get a new one. This is some cheap ass shit we bought off of Amazon. You know, when you do something like off Amazon, some of it's good, some of it's cheap ass shit. We ended up getting a cheap ass shit one, so. I gotta get pretty early too, so Camaro Girl, good night. In 1982, I don't know if that's a year of car or year of birth, but if it's a year of birth, we're pretty close. I made 1981, right? 90 grams is 5 months. He's overfeeding. You know what? If he's eating once a week and he's eating an appropriate sized meal, he'll be fine. Just keep him going. Oh, David, room tour take way too damn long tonight, especially since I got to go to Patreon for this and I got to jump up off of here or off of there and go to bed. So, no, this is just a little selfie tripod. Our regular size tripod for like our main camera is really good. This is just my damn cell phone. So, any collection I'm jealous of? Oh, hell yeah, man. I mean, the ones that come to mind off the top of my head, I mean, it's kind of like this. I think when you get to a certain size, and we're not a very big size, we're still a small collection, you know, but you start realizing what some other people have. You're always, she's upstairs probably in bed. This is like getting ready for first day of school stuff, so she's like checking out, right? You're always jealous of certain things certain people have, and it probably works around. They're probably like, oh man, I wish I had that. You're like, oh, I wish I had that. You know, and I know, man, TGR or Tall Grass does some really nice stuff. Of course, John Dog is way ahead of me in the Xanthic game. I'll tell you, I think my quality is just as nice because where did I get my line from, right? But, you know, he's got some things that I haven't made yet, like the Firefly Xanthics and the Fire Bee Xanthics and shit like that I'm chasing. So, obviously there, you know, JKR's got some really cool shit. So, there, you know, and then too, like, you know, you look at even Barcheck, you know, and I know some people are like, I love Barcheck and his stuff. Barcheck's produced some of the craziest stuff, and he was the first to produce it. And so, like, you know, like producing the first scaleless, you know, you're always kind of like, man. And for me, you know, anybody can make, and like we talk about world's first combos, and we've hit some, and hell, I haven't even submitted one of them. I need to, but world's first combos aren't that hard. It's just finding two things we can put together. But world's first brand new morph, now that's hard to do. So yeah, of course, there's people I'm jealous of. Yeah, we can see Zeus. I try to back off from showing Zeus on camera so much because he got all the camera time, but I don't mind showing him. Hey, what are you doing? You can tell we're getting midweek and it's about feed time because all these dudes are getting kind of amped up. You got a whole 2 days to wait, dude. This is Zeus. Zeus will be breeding next year, so yeah, he is just awesome. You know, we're going to probably end up we're at 17 clutches this year too. God, I love this snake. You know, he is just really gorgeous. I love Zeus. But, all right, buddy, go home. we'll probably do, we're at 17 clutches now. I think we'll get a few more this year. Hopefully get up to 19 at least. Would be my hope. It would be awesome. We'll probably do at least 18. And it's just going to increase from there. So this is just the beginning. And one thing, too, I'll tell a lot of you guys who are in there, and I hear people saying, hey, you inspired me to start a YouTube channel, or hey, you inspired me to breed ball pythons. You inspired me to get into it. And I'm going to be off here within 10 minutes. An hour will be the longest I do on one of these ever. One of the things I'll tell you is when you go on here and you start seeing large collections, there's two ways those large collections are kind of made. One is like over time and here and there kind of deal, which is kind of what we did. And other people sometimes just go buy a bunch of shit because they can. Nothing wrong with that either. But it's not typically done overnight. So when you are getting into this, and you're picking your first projects and you're kind of getting your feet wet and you're trying and you're kind of rolling into it, remember, you don't need 70 snakes, and you don't have to have crazy combos, and you don't have to have these kind of snakes that nobody's ever seen before, except for in your collection like this. You don't need that. Okay, this comes later. This comes as it moves on. I am a big believer in starting simple. Okay, and the reason I say that is when you are breeding, 2 gene combos, maybe 3 really visual, easy to see genes, it's much easier to see what's coming out and identify things. And when you're breeding 4 gene snakes, 3 gene snakes, and you're trying to make crap, it's very hard to know what you have sometimes. And I think that we're going to end up with more, honestly, in the hobby, mistakes as people do that, especially people who don't necessarily have the experience to do that. And getting that experience early on is very important, and understanding the quality over quantity, absolutely, and understanding the quality of each morph and what it can do and how to line breed it is what's going to make that success. And I see more and more people now who are going into specializing in a certain gene, and I think that's pretty cool. We probably won't do that because I get too excited about too many different things. So I'll probably always keep somewhat of a wild collection going on, with obviously focus on certain areas. But like you talk about your Don Dogs and your Dave Kaufmans of the world, and John is very specifically focused on Xanthic, and Dave Kaufman, as he said before, is focusing very very much so on pieds. So like you get guys that are going to focus on that. And they'll be able to really put their time and effort into not making pies, making the best pies, So, and to me, when you're first starting, for those of you getting into it, that is the examples to look at, is people who want to make the best example, not just, I'm going to try to make 7 gene snakes, because you're going to, it just, sometimes it kind of like a muddle mess, so. Real our lifestyle, so anyway, that's just my thing for those of you starting out. It does not take tons of money, okay? It does not take but it does take a lot of effort early on, and your collection will grow. It'll grow with time. It'll grow with time and effort, but you don't have to go buy $15,000 snakes and $25,000 snakes to start. And you should definitely invest your money in females first. If I was going to start today, I'd buy 3 females, I'd wait a year, buy a male, and that'd be the 4 snakes I'd start with. That's just me. So the next snake that I want to make, oh man, shit, honestly, I mean, there's so many, there's so many. Like, I really want to make True Ghost. I really want to see what's up with that dark snake. I think it's nothing, but I'm going to really try, right? And so I really want to go with that. After your females, it doesn't help if females are, Spider Blitz has been done, and the problem with Spider, and I'm a huge Spider fan, right? Okay, 1,500 grams. Yeah, I agree. 1,500 grams is where I start breeding them. Some people do it earlier, but also if you look, I don't think earlier is always better. Sometimes waiting's a little bit better. Spider overpowers a lot of things. So Spider, I tend to stick more into colors than I would worry about patterns. And Spider and Blitz, I've seen it. It's cool, but it's not as cool as it can be. It's like, you know, Blitz Calico came out way different than I expected, but now I'm taking it in a whole new direction, and I'm going to do some shit that I hope is mind-blowing with that. You know, that's the perfect example. If I would have taken a 4-gene Blitz and another 3-gene Snake and threw them together, and I hit a single, you know, combo Blitz Calico, there would have been no way in hell I could have recognized that. Because it was so damn funky, I would have thought 3 or 4 things were going on there. So, yeah. Ultramel Spider would be cool. That'd be alright. So, Pied's great. A no scaleless, a scaleless snake, I do not. I do not. More zebra bees. We will do more zebra bees. But, good night out of the jungle. We're going to do some other things first. That's what I want to make. You know, True Ghost is on the list. We were wanting to hit some snow this year and swung and miss. Definitely killer zebra bees and fire zebra bees and firefly exanthics. I say zebra bees, it's exanthic in there. Those kind of things are what I'm really chasing. So, all right, guys, we've been at this for longer than I intended. But I really wanted to share our plans. I think it's going to be kind of cool to become a little bit more of a multi-tiered channel and bring more people into snakes. So some people do say stay away from Spider, but I disagree with them. You know, the reason I disagree with them is because, man, on that whole Spider thing, wobble's there, right? It is. Let's not lie. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I like Spider. It's not a problem. There's Spider wobble. Shit's there. It doesn't affect their daily life. It doesn't cause them any pain that I can tell. It doesn't cause them not to eat. It doesn't cause them any issues. You know, I've had 0 problems from my spiders. My spiders live, do fine. They're all awesome. The only thing I'd say with Spider is that you have to be careful what you pair it with. But you can say the same about a lot of shit that's out there. Okay, so there's lethal combos with a lot of different genes. So don't shy away from Spider. You actually do. You know what? If everybody shies away from Spider, and nobody quits breeding them, then I'll be the one breeding them, and I can sell them for a lot more money than what I normally get out of them. Because I breed Spider not to make money, I breed Spider because I like Spider. Spider is not a high-paying morph. You know, so that's just me. Right, if you want black and white, the trick is to cram as much color into a snake as you can. And then exanthic. So, you know, if you could do like a fire, super pastel, yellow belly, boom, exanthic, then you're on the right track. So, right. Genetic hunters, right. Couldn't have said it better myself. You know, and people are like, oh, well, you know what? You could pick on albino. If you're going to say, because spiders wobble, we should never breed a spider, they shouldn't exist, and it's terrible, it's inhumane, it's all this, and then breed albinos, you know, if you put an albino out in the wild, it's going to, like, die. Spider won't. In fact, the first spider caught was caught out of the wild. Right? It was living in the wild and imported. I want to say that New England Reptile Distributors Nerd was one that got the first spider. Don't quote me on that as gospel, I think. So, albino, if it didn't get picked off from predators, it can't see for shit, and the sun will screw its eyes up, and they sunburn. Albino alligators never survive in the wild. As a matter of fact, I just got to see a really big 8-foot albino alligator. I got to get like really close to it, and you know, they were running. They had to run like basically where they could let light through but block UV for the thing's skin protection. It's just not like that's worse than the spider. But yet we all breed albinos. We don't think twice about it. Wonder why that is. It's because you don't see it like that. So anyway, Freedom Breeder imported the first spider. See, I thought it was Nerd. I could be wrong though. I know Nerd was big into spiders. I know Barchek hit the first pinstripe, and those were kind of competing morphs then. So trip balls, yeah, I've seen albino iguanas. I know there's one out right now actually. So anyway, I am going to hop off of here and switch over to Patreon. So anyway, thank you all so much. I love each and every one of you, and I am going to get out of here.